wannabes, starts fucking up fast and picking up speed.
Are you fucking kidding me?
What if you could take a Quentin Tarantino movie and mash it with a Guy Ritchie movie and sprinkle in some Edgar Wright's editing from the Cornetto trilogy? Then you would probably get a movie called Smokin Aces. But is a monstrosity movie like this would ever work? And is it any good? Let's find out. I'm Meffistoe. Like, share, and subscribe. This is my review of the movie Smokin Aces.
Word hits the street that there's $1 million bounty for Buddy in Israel. You're gonna have every fucking hitman in the free world looking for him. You gotta move quickly.
By the way, none of the directors I mentioned were involved in this movie, so heads up. I'm not setting you up for disappointment. Or am I? Smokin Aces was written by director Joe Carnahan, who made the movie Narc. And because he made that movie, some of the actors and crew in Smokin Aces agreed to sign and even went through extensive training in order to do most of their own stunts on camera.
And please, for me, will you do one thing? Get out of my fucking sight.
The story of the movie revolves around one man, Buddy Aces Israel, a Las Vegas magician who is infatuated with the mafia, and that led him into the arms of Primo Sparza, a capo de tutti capi, the boss of all bosses in the Italian mob, that took Buddy under his wing.
Buddy starts making friends. Connected kind. Doing the Sinatra thing.
Now, after many years of acting like a gangster, Buddy is left with no choice but to rat to the FBI who are trying to bring down the entire mafia. They intercept a conversation, though, that puts a hit on Buddy, and the race to get him to safety starts. Meanwhile, several various hitmen and assassins get a call and pick up the $1 million bounty on Buddy's head, and to add to this entire mix, there's a bail bondsman called Jack Dupree, who's also on this case with a couple of ex-cop buddies. This entire mix of wackos, assassins, federal agents, and the mafia converge onto this hotel in Lake Tahoe where Buddy is staying, and everyone is trying to extract him or kill him to claim the prize.
Fast as we can get you there. We wait any longer, someone gonna dead this fool.
We lose our witness.
And we lose our case.
In true Guy Ritchie fashion, we have an elaborate set of people, all with their own agenda and story, to try to get one MacGuffin. Buddy, even the way everybody gets introduced, the sound, the editing, it all felt like a Guy Ritchie story. Just think of Guy Ritchie's Snatch, but with Ben Affleck telling you the story instead of Jason Statham.
Wants to live the mob life for real. Bankrolls a couple of B&Es, rich folks.
It's even edited very similarly and giving you that feeling of that crime drama Ritchie style. But in the way the dialogue is constructed and in the way the violence is displayed, it's much more of a Tarantino crime drama, which is weird. Look, it's very hard to explain to a person just walking in to watch this movie, but as a fan of that trio I mentioned, I thought that Carnahan did a really good job of stirring that pot and getting this particular result. So at times you get to see great dialogue between the characters, and at times you get to see insane action moments and tons of random violence, and all of that shot and edited so well that it kind of fits the vision of these three characters I mentioned in this one big overarching story with lots of ins and lots of outs.
Will you tell me what that is?
What?
Look at the collar on that coat. What does that look like?
Because this movie is jam-packed with lots of actors, I will only mention a few. Ryan Reynolds finally gets to play someone other than himself. The Ryan we know with the quippy lines, quick comebacks, and flashy dialogue does not exist in this movie. However, it's not to say that he's bad or something, it's just refreshing, at least to me. Because in most movies, he's Ryan Reynolds playing Ryan Reynolds in a Ryan Reynolds movie. However, I will say that the most Reynolds he was during the opening scene dialogue with Ray Liotta, which, to be fair, was mostly or entirely improvised and ad-lib. But once you get to watch that scene, you'll totally get it.
Don't keep it by the water either. Don't even let it rub shoulders with you.
Do you know what?
Bottle.
Urine is good for your skin.
Jeremy Piven gives you exactly what you expect of him, especially around that time. He is the much beloved Ari Gold character, just infused with what Sinatra would do during the 50s and 60s. He's as over the top as I got mafia ties kind of a Johnny Blue Eyes character, just with the sprinkling of cocaine and other drugs.
I'm not giving up my boys, and you fucking know that. I gave you Speranza. I'm gonna give him Speranza and the West Coast Syndicate gift wrapped. Get it fucking done!
But of course, honorable mention goes to Alicia Keys and Common for their debut role. Both of them are great, each in their own department, and for the most part, both did their own stunts, which was great. Remember, these guys are just musical artists and just went through this transition.
Some fool named Israel.
Damn, girl, you gonna make a nigga fall hard now.
And we also have a special kind of inception moment from the TV show Lost. Matthew Fox and his counterpart, Nestor Carbonell, found their way into a scene in this movie, which I personally found very, very funny. And this was at the height of Lost's popularity back then.
Great. If you could just tell me who has access to the floor, I think we could...
I have the sole pass and relieve all of the personnel myself personally.
On the whole, I found the movie very entertaining and engaging. There are surprises in this movie that came out of nowhere that really threw me off. And I bet the people in the theater were actually gasping. The movie constantly keeps you guessing on the final outcome of what is going on and what's happening. And I must say, the overarching story was a little bit telegraphed for me. Maybe because I've seen so many of these types of movies or something, so I saw the ending coming a mile away, but it didn't really interfere me with enjoying the movie. Joe Carnahan's script was influenced by his love for crime capers and dark comedies, aiming to create what he described as a modern day It's a Mad world, but with lots of violence and lots of dark humor. But what he ended up creating was a full-on Guy Ritchie movie. However, as opposed to Ritchie's earlier films, he didn't use specific color palette like Ritchie does in Snatch or in Lock, Stock, but chose with his cinematographer to have lots of vibrant colors because of the nature of the surrounding, which is a full-on casino environment.
They didn't teach you how to count, I guess, huh? But I bet you guys got a bunch of stories, right? I don't. I grew up kind of soft with the private schools and the...
If you're fond of dark humor, action, and crime films, and the mix of them, this might be up your alley. Same goes with Ritchie or Tarantino fans. I loved it because all of these weird and wacky interactions and the awesome presentation of the movie, and of course the dialogue. Snatch is in my top 20 films of all time, and getting a movie that is influenced by, but not completely imitating it, was great. When initially it came out, it got a lot of flack. I understand that. So when the movie hit home video rentals, it started gathering a cult following, which is a mark of a good but misunderstood movie. But I will still definitely recommend you pick this one and really enjoy it, because I think it's worth your time.
We're getting robbed here, man. 3 days staring at Speraza's house. This guy's got hookers up there, fist fighting.
Oh, look at all you're missing.
I thank you for watching, and remember, hope is a good thing, maybe even the best of things, and no good thing ever dies. I'll see you on the next video.